Hello and thanks for watching this video. If you're watching this video, you're probably looking for some investments that can give you better returns and you still give you exposure to businesses and equities. Let me show you now how we can achieve that through our investment offering. Let me just spend 1 minute talking about myself so you know who is the person who is going to render this video. I've been working with this for quite some time. I've been in the business for investments for more than 20 years, and 15 of them I've been in multinational banks, Credit Suisse, Lloyds Banking Group. I have a PhD in econometrics by the University College London, top university, and I also regularly teach. I have given lectures already to more than 1,000 students about financial modeling and risk management and all things finance. The students seem to be very happy about my lectures, so I hope I can use this theoretical knowledge and put it in practice for you as well. You can also Google my name. If you just put Fabio Diaz in Google, especially in Google News, you will find some useful information about me, including that feature on the Entrepreneur magazine. Now, what is Stalwart Holdings? We are actually a fintech company, but the services that we provide is investment management. It's just that we have a lot of tech involved in our process. So we are a hybrid between a vertical fintech and a hedge fund. Our operating model is on your screen. The head of the structure of the company is actually not me, is our bots, is our automated decision making, risk management. We have very little discretionary oversights. And the reason here is exactly that we don't trust ourselves, we trust our models. I don't trust my discretionary ability on do stock picking, but I trust my mathematical ability to write models. That's when I come as a CIO and also a CEO to manage the whole business infrastructure. In our team, we also have 3 more people that helped with the day-to-day management of the company. So Evans is the data analytics guy. He's a very bright Python developer, server-side Python developer. He helped me with the automation of some scripts. We have Luis Felipe, who is a very bright Brazilian guy who worked for the car wash investigation in the past. If you heard about it, it's an anti-corruption investigation that happened in Brazil. And he is now heading our anti-corruption area, anti-money laundering, internal compliance. I trust him very much on that. And you have Christelle. She is very good in talking and especially giving that investor relation, that pitch that you want to hear, like when you want to have a nice conversation with someone. He is also a graphic developer, so she helped us developing our website. So many of those screens that you see in our website, they were developed by Christelle. Outside of the company, we have also a very senior and bright guy giving us advice, and he is nothing less than a former president of a central bank, exactly, the Central Bank of Brazil. So Gustavo Loyola, he is like the Jerome Powell of Brazil, I would say. He was a key player in the Plano Real, which ended the hyperinflation in Brazil. So he actually had to work hard. He was not just an unknown central bank president. He's actually quite a celebrity in Brazil, and he also had the ProAir, which is something that was used to stabilize. It's a program that was stabilizing the banking system in Brazil after a long hyperinflationary period. He helps us quite a bit with economics insights and general advice. In the side of giving assurance to the investors that we have a proper investment model, we have our prime broker, which is Interactive Brokers, helps a lot with the automation, the infrastructure. Our pay agent is Wise Payments. They are actually very savvy when it comes to tech, so I like using their services. Also our bonds are registered in CREST. They are CREST eligible securities, so we have a CREST registered agent. That means that you could move our investments even to established brokerage house, any share dealing that supports CREST personal accounts like Redman Bentley, for example. And we have also our independent compliance oversight. We have Luis Felipe doing the internal compliance, but we have an external company that verifies that we are complying with all regulations, we're complying with all procedures, our best practice. So I trust them also very much. Now, let's talk about investments. What do we do in investments? We have actually four pillars in our investments. One is choosing good stocks, either because they are cheap or because they are companies that are doing well. That are what I call value and momentum, and that's the first pillar in your columns here that you have on your screen. So a long only portfolio that has a beta of less than one. I will show you later in another chart what beta less than one means. But that actually, if you can imagine without the chart, is that you're having equity exposure without having the same risks as equity. So you are having, if you wanted to have a portfolio that had a similar risk as ours, you would have to lower down in equity exposure. But we can have more equity exposure than just a simple long only portfolio because we have the other three pillars. One here is hedging equities with FX. So there is in our website some economic papers that explain that you can use currencies to minimize your risk in other investments. That's something that we do. And then we have also something automated here in the dynamic hedging. So we decide when we reduce our risk, when we increase our risk. We do that through our risk parity hedging strategies, which are all automated and all driven by AI. We have finally a cash buffer that is going to cover future margin or options purchases and also giving liquidity because our product has daily liquidity. Any investor can come in and out at any time. All the allocation between these all boxes that you have there is decided by algorithms. The actual performance is something that I like very much to show. That's the graph showing you a cumulative return of £100 invested since inception. You see there the FTSE 100, the S&P 500, that's how much you would get in returns if you invested a portfolio in those known indices, and that's the total return including dividends, if you wanted to have a similar risk exposure. Because you need to invest less, so for a similar risk exposure, that's the return that you get. If you invested in Stalwart, that's the red line, you will have gotten a lot more returns for the same similar risk exposure. It's interesting to know that we also are getting our inception, because this is since our inception was in August 2020, when the FTSE was actually very, very cheap because all those COVID, Brexit things. So in this comparison, we are even being compared against something that outperformed the rest of the world, and we are still beating it. That's something that I would like to point out. The flat line is the ultra short. Like in the beginning, is a very flat because his current accounts they would pay almost nothing, and then you will get some savings accounts exposure later. That's the bottom line. So it's how much you will get in a savings account. Uh, in your screen, there's performance metrics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time speaking about them. You can just pause the video and see the numbers and see the correlations, and then you see the volatility. Compare us, for example, just one example, volatility of our fund, 9% volatility of S&P 500, 16%. We are a lot less risky than investing in stocks. And the monthly returns are there. You can just go and see. I would give some special mention to 2022 when equities were down by 25%. We didn't even get down by 6. When you invest with us, you have access to a daily portal. You have the investor portal that will give you the daily returns. Every day you can see what makes up the portfolio, including you can check what are the companies that we invest. So we are very transparent. We tell you what is the money invested in. You could even replicate it yourself if you were diligent enough to log into our website every day, copy what we're doing, and then going and doing it in your own personal portfolio. Because other hedge funds wouldn't give you this level of transparency, but we aren't a hedge fund, we're a technology company that shows everything that we're doing through tech. So I will conclude my presentation just telling you why then should you invest with us? Well, we are really a well-run business, have a low cost baseline, we have an operating model that is very lean. Our product has daily liquidity and is traded in an exchange in the EU. So it is actually, you could even invest through your SIP, through your SARS, through your pensions. It's a pensions eligible product. We have a multi-year investment track record, an operating model that is very strong, and our technical strategy is also very sound. So I hope to have you on board with us. Thank you for watching this video.